Okay, what if I told you that one of the internet's biggest memes right now, the Sigma male, was actually figured out like 400 years ago by a legendary samurai? It sounds kind of crazy, right? But the way this warrior lived, it's a shocking blueprint for this whole modern idea. And this idea, it's really the key to everything we're going to talk about. The idea that walking alone isn't about being lonely, it's about being self-sufficient. We're always taught that being by yourself is, well, it's a bad thing, like you failed to connect. But what if that's totally wrong? What if it's actually the ultimate sign of strength? So before we dive into all that ancient wisdom, let's start with where this whole thing is blowing up right now, the internet, and this new character that's popped up. Yeah, this Sigma male, you've seen it, right? It's everywhere. It's the face of a million memes, the subject of those endless debates in the comments. The whole idea is he's the guy who's just outside the social pyramid. Not the alpha at the top, not the beta following along, but what's really behind all this? What's the deal? So on the internet, the Sigma is basically painted as the ultimate lone wolf. You know the type. He doesn't care about the social ladder, he just does his own thing quietly. He's got his own code, he's self-reliant, kind of mysterious, and he gets things done. Not by trying to climb to the top, but by acting like the ladder doesn't even exist. So that brings us to the big question, right? Is this whole thing just another internet trend, a label that'll be gone in a year? Or did the internet completely by accident stumble onto something way older and way deeper? A real philosophy for how to live your life? All right, let's do it. Let's peel back all those layers of memes and get to the real stuff. Let's find the blueprint that gives this whole idea its surprising punch. And here is the absolute key difference. The internet's version of the Sigma is usually all about what he's against. He's against the social hierarchy. But this older way of thinking, it's not about being against anything. It's about building something inside yourself. It's not just independence from the social game. It's independence from all outside approval. And that little shift, well, it changes absolutely everything. So who was the guy who actually laid out this path? Well, for that, we've got to go back, way back, like 400 years ago, to feudal Japan, and to a man who might just be the greatest swordsman who ever lived. His name was Miyamoto Musashi. Think about this. He was undefeated in over 60 duels, a total master strategist. But here's the thing, he wasn't just a fighter. He was also an artist, a philosopher, and after a lifetime of battle, he just retreated. He went into solitude to write down everything he'd learned about mastering yourself and your own mind. And literally, in the last week of his life, Musashi wrote down his entire philosophy. It's this short, powerful text called the Dokkodo, which means the path of walking alone. It's just 21 short rules, but man, each one is a masterclass in self-discipline and self-reliance. This is the original blueprint we've been talking about. Okay, so what does that actually mean, to walk alone? Let's really break down the core ideas from the man who perfected this art. First thing we gotta get straight is what this path is not, okay? It's not about being some edgy loner who pretends to hate everyone. It's not a show you put on for other people. That's the shallow internet meme version. What Musashi was talking about, it's so much deeper. Now, the Dokkodo is about building an inner foundation that's so solid, so strong, that you become your own source of validation. Your sense of purpose, your peace of mind, it all comes from inside you. So you can still be in the world, but you're no longer of the world. You just don't need anyone else's approval to know you're on the right path. Just look at some of these rules. Accept everything just the way it is. Basically, stop fighting with reality. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. In other words, chase purpose, not just cheap dopamine hits. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Man, lose your ego, gain some real perspective. And then there's the final boss. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Free yourself from always wanting more. The stuff isn't just simple self-help, It's like radical surgery on your mind. So what does any of this 400-year-old wisdom have to do with us, right now, sitting here surrounded by phones and notifications? How does this even apply to our lives? This right here, this is the whole idea in a nutshell. Loneliness, that's the pain of being alone. It's a feeling that something is missing. But solitude, that's the strength of being alone. It's a feeling of being whole, complete. It's not something that just happens to you. It's a source of power that you choose. So when you strip away all the internet memes, the real power of this idea,
It really boils down to one simple word: choice. See, true strength isn't about pushing back against the crowd. It's about choosing to build your own path, a path that doesn't need any noise from the outside world to keep you going.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. In a world that is constantly screaming for your attention, what could you discover if you chose, even just for a little while, to walk your own path? What would happen if you put down all that noise and just picked up your own inner compass? What kind of strength is just waiting there for you to find it?